Hey everybody, it's Conscious Medium Brendan Ross. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for clicking, liking, subscribing, share with your friends. I want to point out the Empath Rising shirts. This is kind of how awesome you look when you put one on while you support Ukrainian refugees as we support the Be Strong Foundation. They've got boots in Poland already. Who cares if the United States is saying 10 billion, 20 billion, whatever? Bureaucratic red tape, 50, maybe 75 cents might actually make it to the Ukrainian refugees. Sorry, political commentary. But when you do it right here, we turn it around and we send it right to the Be Strong Foundation, a percentage of it in every sale. We make it public when we do it. We let you know what's going on. And the Be Strong Foundation is a transparent company that is actually spending money specifically to help Ukrainian refugees along border countries like Poland. So click on the link below for this to support that. In today's episode of Intuition in Action, I want to talk about long-term friendships. I want to talk about the power of the internet. I want to talk about the opportunities that we all have to help other people. Opportunities to help one another. Even though we're right next door to each other, even though you recognize that, you're not in somebody's life anymore. And I hope I'm going to do this for the person that I'm saying it to as well, and vice versa. Because he's a great guy. I worked with him over 20 years ago. And he does a podcast show. He's an entertainment guy. He actually works in theater. He's worked in theater for years. I met him when he took a break from theater for a whole host of reasons. And we met in the staffing recruiting industry. He was there for a couple of years. He went back to theater. Amazing guy. And if you know Jim Lanahan, you know that he has the power to make people laugh. His sense of humor is witty and quippy, and he's just got some taglines that I'm not even going to say here. It is PG-13, but highly recommendable. Well, one of the podcasts that I was able to see him finally do, he traditionally works with another medium by the name of Heather Carlucci. My quick read on her, she's incredibly authentic. Where she's coming from is a heart space of love. That's my read on that. That's my recommendation. Read, feel what you're feeling about a person. I think I'd go to her for a reading. But he started talking about a place back home. Now, back home is upstate New York. Those of you that don't know, I'm just north of Albany. And he was talking about this place called Lay's Cakes. And I kind of chuckled. I'm like, I think I know where that place is. Well, I'm out meandering and I'm wandering around, and I walked in. I'm like, I see it and I go, I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of myself, right? By the way, I'm doing this so that I can add it in later. Right outside of Leah's Cakes. Now, I was in Boston. It's actually in Round Lake. It's literally about 10 minutes from here. And by the way, the Intuition in Action series is not meant to be, me touring and getting lunch and getting treats and whatever. But it is, the Intuition in Action is really your involvement and your interaction with people, right? So this interaction started with Jim giving them a shout out and saying, if you're in the Round Lake area, upstate New York, you've got to go see them. Well, I pull in. I take my picture, and then I walked in. And I said with a big smile on my face, just to see what the reaction would be. I said, Jim Lanahan sent me. The place erupted. It was cheers, it was smiles, it was how do you know him? And the person that waited on me, lovely person, she says, actually, my sister knew him better. They were a few years older than me. But yeah, I've heard from at least 5 people this week, 10 people this week that came in and said, I saw your podcast on Jim Lanahan and they mentioned your name, so I had to come in. And it really got me thinking. First of all, Jim is a guy that lives in his passion. He's just having a good time, right? And by the way, like and subscribe his stuff. It's hysterical. If he's not your sense of humor, move on. No hate. On the flip side of that, he takes what he knows and he's giving a shout out to his old friends. He's giving a shout out to some people that he hasn't seen in years, but he's encouraging them. He's telling them to keep going. And he's giving a plug to say, you know what? You're doing an amazing thing. You bit the bullet and you're going out there and you created a business, and every small business can use a perk. Everyone, pay attention to that. Everyone can use a little boost. And this was Jim's way of doing it. And here I am walking in having a complete intuitive moment. Because when she told me that, oh yeah, we actually had a boost in our sales because people were coming in saying, oh yeah, I saw that thing with Jim. Now, whether they were going to come in or not doesn't matter, but the energy of it does. What matters is that here he is on the West Coast creating a positive wave and effect in Round Lake, New York. pay attention. This is the type of thing that you can have an impact every day. Now, listen, Jim's been at it for a while. He's got a great multimedia complex thing that he's got going on. He's over on this one and on that one. He's a lot of fun. But for him to take just a second and do a little shout out is a pretty important thing. I mean, anytime you have a friend that goes into small business, first things first, never, ever expect them to do their service or goods for free for you. They are struggling out of the gate. I remember when I first started, everybody wanted a free reading. Oh, so you think you can do this? It was more of a challenge, but what they didn't realize, it was a complete insult. The second thing would be like, well, I've got $10. Would you take that? No. This is a developed product. This is a developed piece of cake I'm about to eat. In no way, shape, or form was I going to say, hey, I know people. I don't know what the intrinsic thing is for people to think that, oh, well, if I just schmooze them or finagle it a little bit, then I'll get it for cheaper or whatever. Buy 100 cakes, they'll give you a discount. Be that kind of friend. And last but not least, being able to promote somebody on social media. I mean, this is how we buy now. This is how we consume information. I'm giving a shout out and perpetuated by what Jim had done. I got myself a lemon cake. This just, I should not eat any of this. Like, this is one of those things where, okay, truth be told, this is just a justification for me to have a sugar bomb right now. Oop, did you hear me crack that open? Smells fresh. But now is the time to support small businesses. Now is the time that if you buy just one thing once a month from a small business, they're going to make it. We're all struggling. We're all in debt because of whatever. And for Jim to shout out to that made me really recognize how appreciative they were. So Jim, just to let you know, Leah's Cake in Round Lake, New York, loves you. You're going to come in on a pony right down Round Lake, right around that historic view. It's a beautiful little town. It's worth the drive. But more importantly, it's worth the energy. Jim changed the energy for a positive. And by the way, if he didn't do it, nobody would have cared. He still would have went on. He would have eaten his bonbon, his cake, whatever it is he had. But what's important is to recognize that sometimes when you go above and beyond, it's like holding the door open for someone. Why do we hold the door open for someone? What do we expect in return? Jim's literally getting nothing from this, except for maybe he gets a perk from me talking about him. But I want to keep that energy going. The way that I see this, energy matters. Always matters. It matters for your friends behind you and in front of you. I'm already holding the fork. I just want to stuff my face with that. But the energy of the situation matters. Jim recognized that this small business needs to be recognized. He's a little bit of a sugar junkie, but that's besides the point, which, by the way, I think was one of his grinder handle names back in the 90s. If you like that joke, you're going to love Jim. But you understand that the energy of the situation and being able to talk about people in a positive sense to encourage them along the way is an amazing thing. Now I'm going to have a bite of this lemon cake. I'm going to tell you firsthand how it is. This is just fantastic. Oh my God. All right, guys, just having fun with some of these videos. Shout out to Jim. I'm going to grab a couple of his handles, make sure that you can see them below. And also a link to Leah's Cakes. It's kind of the best stuff I've ever had in a long time. And no, I did not finish it. It's buttercream frosting, everybody. It's so freaking good. Anyways, thank you guys. Like and subscribe. Share with others. Get the Empath Rising shirt. I'll see you guys soon. Remember, keep going.